Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Journey Across the Galaxy. We are continuing on our way to Beagle Point, having already crossed through the center of the galaxy from the bubble way back over here, and are heading off in this direction towards Beagle Point. Let's go ahead, get off the ground, get ourselves looking for cool biological signatures, as that is our goal for this particular trip. We're trying to rank up our exobiology skill, get it up into the elite status. My understanding is there's more than one elite status for the Odyssey-related things. So we'll see how high we can get it, but we're also trying to get to the point where we can afford a fleet carrier, and it seems like exobiology is really paying off in that department. So we're going to continue on and move on to the next system, keep on going, see what we can find. The fairly repetitive cycle that we do for this is we hop into a system. I always say we'll check the system map, and I always do it just the one time, and then I never remember after that. So I should probably just drop that off of the regular spiel that I do. we pop into a system, we pop the discovery scanner, and then once we're finished with the fuel scooping, we'll hop into the full spectrum system scanner, see if there are any high value planets, and then if there are 15-ish bodies or less, we'll do a full scan of the system to see if there are any biological signatures around. As you can see, there's only 8 bodies in the system, so we'll definitely be doing a quick little scan. Now that we're out, we'll go ahead and drop the throttle, hop into the full spectrum system scanner. We do have a water world in the system, so at the very least, we'll be getting some kind of money out of it. So let me find it. Maybe. Oh, there we go. So let's get that targeted, and then we'll swing all the way back around and see if we find it. You can see in the features up there, if it says biological, that's what we're looking for those of you who don't do exploration or just haven't watched or don't know anything about Elite Dangerous. That's what we're looking for. Alright. Nothing there. Come on. Alright, so all we're getting out of this one is a, all we're getting out of this one is a scan of a water world, which, you know, isn't nothing, but I really like to find some biology. It's much more fun. So we'll get over here, we'll scan, and then we'll move on to the next system. I don't really have a particular topic of discussion for today's episode, and realistically, it's not possible to have a really interesting topic to talk about every single time, especially since I record every day for the most part. So sometimes I just get on here and I ramble until either the episode ends or I actually stumble across something interesting to talk about. If you guys have interesting things that you think would be cool to hear me talk about while we're going through these episodes, feel free to leave suggestions in the comments. I generally do try to get to subjects that people are interested in. But then at the same time, I also have like a goldfish memory, so sometimes I don't. I did get a comment from someone who said that they wanted to hear my opinion on politics and religion, and it was a joke. And yeah, that ain't happening. I know it was a joke, but I'm just going to reiterate here: politics and religion, anything that's going to divide the audience is I'm not going into that. Obviously, everybody has an opinion on politics, and everybody has an opinion on religion, and everybody has an opinion on a lot of these very sensitive topics, and too many of us feel like our opinion is so important that we absolutely have to state it. No, you don't. We can all keep our mouth shut, we can all have our own opinions, we can all keep that crap to ourselves and live our lives in peace. We don't have to be the way we've been, and I don't want to turn my channel into that. So we're keeping that topic at bay. We're keeping those topics at bay. Anything that's going to upset people, we're here to play a game, not to get into philosophical and political arguments about things. Not interested in doing that. I did run a channel for a little bit where I was trying to do that stuff, but it's just the vitriol that's associated with just people's belief that, you know, everybody has to agree. I disagree with you. I disagree with you. And it isn't enough that they disagree. They have to vehemently disagree with you. And it's like, it's just not worth the drama. I have no tolerance for drama. The older I get, the less tolerance for drama I have. So, yeah. If I see a topic and it seems like it's going to be overly annoying to listen to people talk back, like, I don't mind a rational, you know, did we not? Okay. I don't mind a rational discussion and people disagree with me, but the problem is that the people who actually take the time to sit and respond are almost never rational. They're so emotionally charged by whatever it is that it's not worth it. it's not worth it. So we're gonna stick to generic topics on this channel. I mean, obviously, I want to try to find interesting things to talk about, but they should be things that aren't going to upset too many people. Like, I'm not trying to go through life without upsetting anyone. Everything you talk about is going to upset someone, but we're going to avoid the obvious hot button issues that, you know, really upset a lot of people, one way or the other. So I'm sure if you pay attention to what I say and how I say it, that you could probably divine where I stand on philosophical or political grounds, but I'm not going to openly talk about it because it's just, no. I got enough drama out of that Star Citizen video that I ended up deleting because people got fanatic about it, and it's just like, nah, I don't need any of that. I don't need fanaticism in my life. We've had enough fanaticism over the years. You know, you guys need to chill. All right, I think we're gonna have to end up moving a little bit. So let me get out of this. Let's get the star. Not sure which. There's a lot of stars here. Are they stars or planets? There's no way those are all stars. Okay. Well, hopefully that's enough. There we go. Still no features. Yeah, unfortunately. Moving on to the next system. So, I mean, I guess that is kind of the topic for today's episode then, since that's where I ended up moving to. I don't understand people's need to be right. I can understand if you're in a situation where, you know, like when I'm arguing with my wife, obviously I feel this need to be right because that's something that's personal to me, and you know, we need to work that out. That's something that needs to be worked out. But there's so many topics in the world today where, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're right or I'm right or any of that stuff. If we live by a rule of, you know, do your own thing, then who cares? Who cares who's right? I don't understand everybody's need for people to agree with them. Nobody needs to agree with you. If you feel like you're right, then feel like you're right and live your life. It's this need that people have to control things, and I don't get it. I don't understand that people's need to like control other people. I mean, I totally understand your desire to control your own life. That's completely natural and it makes sense. But this idea that people have that they need to control everyone else is like, why? Where does this come from? It's so unnatural to me to have a desire to have control over anybody. And I was a Marine staff sergeant. Like, I was put in charge of stuff. I was put relatively high up in charge of stuff for, you know, for what enlisted people can do. And I still don't have that need to be in charge of things. Like, just too many people think that they need to do stuff and that they don't need to do. So that's why we're going to be avoiding the controversial topics on this channel, because, you know, too many and that's something that really irritates me. There's too many gamers that get on here and they want to throw in little political digs on this candidate or that candidate or whatever it is that they want to do, and it's like, dude, I came here to watch a video game. I didn't come here to listen to you to hear your political point of view. So I definitely want to make sure I do my best to stay away from that. It's not that I'm afraid of, you know, thinking what I think. It's mostly just that, you know, the purpose of the channel is not that. It's not so I can tell people what I think about this or what I think about that, as far as like what you should think. So this had too many bodies to do a full-on scan, and there were no high-value planets. So we're just gonna move on to the next one. I don't know. I'm getting older, and I have less and less patience for all of the drama of the world, and it sucks because there's so many people out there, and they all have their own opinions, and too many of them have this drive to feel important. Like, why do you need to be important? what is this thing where we feel like we need to be important? How about you stop focusing on feeling important and start focusing on, you know, doing something that makes you happy or doing something that makes you feel fulfilled? If you need other people to validate you to feel fulfilled in your life, then that's a problem. You guys need to figure that shit out. One body in the system means that it's just a star, so we'll go ahead and move on. You know, we really need a, like, if I'm gonna talk about anything vaguely political, it's gonna be that we need a new movement where, you know, there's a large group of people who say, enough with the shenanigans, you people. All of you guys need to shut up and just go live your life. That's the political movement we need. I don't know. Unfortunately, history has shown that we're just never going to get to that point. There's too many people with too many different opinions, and too many of them suck.
System scan complete.
Right, looks like this is 2 stars and nope, 3 stars. You can tell because the little holograph thing there has little what do they call? Sun loops or whatever they're called coming off of them when you can see it. So obviously those are all 3 stars, and that's it for this system. So we'll move on to the next one. So like I said, we always make progress in these episodes. Either we find cool stuff and we're able to put a lot of valued scans into our ship, or we get a bunch of jumps done. You never know, you're never going to know until you hop in. That's the gambling, slot pulling, whatever it is, lever pulling, whatever it is you want to call it, of playing this game. Sometimes you're going to find cool stuff. Sometimes you're just going to get a bunch of traveling done. Either way, it's all progress. I can live with that. It would be nice if we could find some biology, though. I think in the last episode we ended up just finding a single bacteria. And it was on a... I really would like to know what ended up happening in that last episode, because you were in the cockpit and it looked like it was almost nighttime. It was like really dark and hard to see anything. Then you hopped out of the ship and all of a sudden the lighting was normal and bright and you could actually see. I don't know if that's a bug or if there was some kind of weird setting that they had that, like, I know there's no window tinting on my ship. At least not really, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure they have something to protect you from being blinded by like the UV rays and stuff and the intense brightness, but I've never noticed a tangible difference between being inside the ship and then hopping out of the ship before like that. It was weird. All right, so no high value planets. Maybe we'll get lucky and there will be some biology here. That would be nice. Oh, I hate it when they do that. So we're gonna have to break this scan up into 2 scans because some of them were behind the star. And realistically, it's not going to be worth the time it's going to take us to do that because there's only 2 bodies left and the odds that they are going to be anything are very small. But we'll turn around to the side and hope that we can get to it. Alright. Can we see it now? Alright, hopefully. Come on. Nothing. Nuts. Alright, off to the next system. If you're new to the channel and you're wondering why I set a limit of 15 for scanning these bodies, it's because I want to have a nice balance between sitting in a system and scanning it versus actually making progress towards our destination. It already takes hundreds and hundreds of these jumps to get from the center of the galaxy to Beagle Point. And, I mean, I don't even know how many episodes we're in now. Like, I'd have to look at the channel to see how many we are from the bubble, but we're already, I don't know, 5, 7, 10 episodes in just coming from the bubble. This is how long it takes to get places. So I want to have a nice balance between, you know, scanning for things and actually making it to our destination at some point. What's going on there? That's weird. Well, there's no point. So you can look over there on the left side of the screen, 119,110 light seconds. That's way too far away to be doing in Super Cruise. If they had the ability to jump to the star that those are around, then that might be worth it, but no, they don't. So we're going to leave that. Even if there was something valuable there, it's not worth 119,000 light seconds to get to it. That's literally 5-10 minutes worth of just super cruising towards it. To the next system. Okay. We're getting. I would normally complain when we get these 2-body systems. I was gonna say we're getting a lot of 1 and 2 and 3-body systems where there's basically just the stars. But I don't know. We've stopped several times to actually stop and scan this stuff, so I guess it's not too bad. It's slightly frustrating when you're just not getting results that you're looking for. So we're past the 15-minute mark now. I typically lower my standards slightly because normally I'm trying to look for planets that have at least 2 biological signatures on it, so that when we go to the planet and do our scans, we find something more interesting than just a big patch of bacteria. But after the 15-minute mark, I generally lower my standards to say, now we're looking for any kind of biology, even if it's just a single biology signature. That way we get at least something out of an episode. Because once we get to the 20-minute mark, we're just looking to find a body to land on, period. Because I don't like to log off in space if I can avoid it. That's mostly a role-play thing. Like, you can log out in space and it's perfectly safe. It's not that big of a deal. I like the role-play of just, you know, parking my ship and, you know, being done for the night. Okay, no biology there. Give me biology. Come on, give me biology. Okay. Still nothing. Oh, there we go. Oh, but not 89,000 away, we're not. Well, that's super irritating. Well, we were gonna go do that, but not at 80. Oh. Crap. I pressed the wrong button. Gotta wait for the FSD to cool down, and then we can... There we go. Alright, well, I thought we were going to have a scan for today, but unless we hop into the next system and find something else over there, my limit is about 10,000 light seconds. You can get 10,000 light seconds done in a few minutes, depending on if you have any other gravitational bodies in your way. You know, it's another one of those things where you kind of have to set your own filters basically for what you're going to do and how much time you're willing to spend in a single system. And for me, it's 15 bodies and 10,000 light seconds. I always like it when there's multiple stars right next to each other. It looks cool, I think.
Fuel sweeping complete.
36 bodies in this one. So we have a water world somewhere around here. That one's only 600 away. Let's go scan that one. Big fan of the Super Cruise Assist, mostly because it allows you to, well, I don't say perfectly align, but it gets you pretty close. It gets you pretty close to aligning with the body. One of my users did mention trying to explain more of the mechanics of the game for people who are new or who haven't done this stuff before. I'll try to remember to explain things as I go. And even if it's repetitive for me to do that, I'll try to remember to do that when I remember, because I know there's going to be people who hop into this and have no idea what's going on, or they're just getting started, or whatever. So those of you who are watching the series continually and you hear me continually explaining how to do these things that I'm doing, I'm going to try to get in the habit of A, doing that, and then B, hopefully you guys will remember that there's people that watch that aren't necessarily Elite Dangerous fans. So for I don't know how. It's easier to try to explain it from the beginning. I'll try to remember for the next episode to start doing being a little bit better about explaining things. I forgot that part of the comment when I got that. So for people who are coming in here, you get money for scanning these planets, and there's these probes that you have to fire at the planet to get all of the data from it. The data gets stored in your computer, and then you take that data, however you want to say it, and you take it to a space station that allows you to sell that data, and then you get money. So if you look over in the bottom right, there's an efficiency target where if you fire that number or less probes to get your scan, you get extra money. It's called an efficiency bonus. As you can see, each probe has a radius for what it can scan.
50%.
So you have to take that into account when you are doing your scanning.
Surface scan complete. Frameshift drive charged.
All right. So we'll do another jump or two, hopefully, and we really need to start looking for a place to set down now. As I said, that's more of a role-playing thing and kind of an OCD personal preference thing. I like to set down on a planet when I log off. For no other reason, that's just the way I like to do it. You're perfectly free to log off in space. There's no problem with doing it that way. It's just I like the role-play aspect of, you know, let's set down on a planet and go to sleep. All right, come on. I hate it when it gets like this. It takes long enough. There we go. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I really wish that we had a galactic super cruise option. That would be so much more fun. At least to me. I think it would be much more fun for me.
Fuel scooping complete.
Okay, let's get our full spectrum system scan done. If you've been wondering what this is the ridiculous manual scanning thing that they came up with so that you could look for planets far away. It's obviously better than the original system. From what I understand, you actually had to fly to planets to see this stuff. But even then, I still think that their solution to it is pretty unreasonable. Really should be set up so that the computer can do all of this part of the scanning for you. And then if there's something there where you want to get some kind of actual benefit out of it, you have to fly to the planet. But, you know, I would much rather that the Discovery scanner provide you with basic information about each of the bodies. And then you can use that information to decide if you want to do a full-on scan of the planet. So all the information that I'm getting from this little scope thing that's happening, the onboard computer for the ship should really be able to just find that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and head over to this right here because we are running out of time. We need to get down onto a body because I have a arbitrary time limit of 30 minutes on all of my episodes, mostly just because I want to make sure that people who are looking at the videos see a 2 instead of a 3 at the beginning of the timestamp there, and it makes it much more likely that they're going to watch. Seems like a half hour. It seems like a 20 to 30 minute video is a pretty good sweet spot for most people who are looking for I need something to do for the next little bit. So that's kind of the audience that I'm going for all of my videos. I'm trying to provide a hey, I have nothing to do for the next half hour. Let me find a video. It's obviously nice when people decide to sit down and watch like an entire playlist. Helps out with a lot of watch time. And now that my channel is fully monetized, as weird as it happened, you know, really trying to get to the point where people are actually watching. All right. So for when we're just coming up to land and there's nothing on it, if it had a biological or geological signature on it, we would do a scan. We would throw those probes out like you just saw, but we're just trying to land right now. There was no valuable anything on any of these planets, so we're just gonna pop down and land and get ourselves parked for the day. Let me get myself turned. I am playing with only a keyboard right now. That is possible to do if you can get your keyboard set up in a way that's intuitive for you. My left hand is controlling my pitch and yaw, and my left hand is controlling my direction. My right hand controls lateral movement once we're out of Super Cruise mode. So I have it set up so that my left hand can basically do everything in Super Cruise mode. I have it laid out in a way that allows me to just use my left hand. And then once we come out of Super Cruise into a planet, then I move up my hand to the right. Oh, hold on. I need to get the Super Cruise assist turned off. Let's get this. Let's come around to this side so we can find the Terminator. Alright.
Orbital flight engaged.
You gotta constantly be playing with the throttle to prevent it from over speeding, because if you're going too fast when you hit the DRP zone there, you won't have a glide. You won't have the glide that you need to get when you're coming down to try to land on these planets. It's kind of an arbitrary mechanic that they implemented, where you have to do a glide down to the planet, regardless of whether there's an atmosphere or anything. There's a glide. There's a glide that you have to do. Not really sure what the point of it is, but that's what they decided. All right, come on, throttle. All right, I think. Sun coming down, or what is it doing? Well, we'll try to land over in this little patch over here. Oh, I didn't realize I still have my night vision.
Landing gear deployed.
Okay. Oh, didn't realize we had we had our throttle all the way back. All right, let's find ourselves a spot to put down, and we can be done for the day. I'm using my number pads as my directional keys for the lateral movement. Oh, that was good. Come on. Oh, I had it. There we go. Oh, come on. All right. Well, hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click that like button if you did, so that the YouTube algorithm will know and send the video out to as many people as possible. The more we have along for the ride, the more fun it's going to be, because we can all chat about it and have fun and, you know, join in together for the ride. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your video feed and you'll be able to watch it as soon as it becomes available. Channel members do get early access to all of my content, so be sure to click that join button, check out the list of perks that are available there, and decide if any of those are right for you. Your direct support is greatly appreciated and will be a critical component in turning this into a full-time gig. So again, thank you very much for your time. Hope you guys are enjoying the journey, and I'll see you for the next one.